Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Alinga Sise and this is my lifestyle. Today I'm super excited to inform you that we've debeaked the birds, and just know recovery after debeaking is not easy, but my birds are now doing super well because today is day 2. At least I'm now seeing them a bit lively, but I've been putting them feeds and you find the birds have not even completed the feeds. Birds that used to complete feeds just within 2 hours, you find the feeds are taking even more hours and even days without getting completed. Now, like those feeds, I put them yesterday in the morning, but up to now you can see the feeds are still there. So what are some of the reasons why some of our birds don't recover very fast after debeaking? Actually, sometimes even you can get a lot of mortalities after debeaking. First of all, if you don't debeak it well, like when you're doing debeaking, at least make sure that the bird's tank is not cut. That will lead to too much bleeding if you cut the tank, and you will end up losing that bird. And then for us who are using the herbal remedies, because here basically we are purely using the herbal remedies. Mind you, the birds are already soon making 13 weeks, but you can see how they are big. Only with this debeaking that has made them a bit dormant, but otherwise they would run towards me so quickly and you would wonder. So and for those who are using the herbal remedies, before even the day to debeaking the birds, okay, before even the day of debeaking the birds, make sure that you have started giving the birds the herbal remedies. Now this time I am mixing for them ginger, garlic and aloe vera. These 3 combinations is very perfect in a way that it will make these birds to heal very fast. You will actually see your birds recover. Now, like this is day 2, but at least there is no bird that is looking sick. Much as they are not feeding very well like they used to, but at least the birds are okay. You as a farmer, you're able to tell that the birds are okay, except maybe with the pain that they are going through, okay? So, and then also make sure that when you're giving the herbs, at least you can stretch it for 7 consecutive days, okay? Consistency is very important for us who are using the herbal remedies. And then for those who are going to use the synthetic drugs, make sure the vitamins are there. At least antibiotics should be there to at least protect these birds or prevent them from getting these infections. Because some of you, even the scissors that you're going to use or the machines you're going to use, you don't clean them very well, okay? And then make sure you take note of that. The scissors that you're going to use now, like for me, I use the debeaking scissors. The ordinary debeaking scissors is the one I use for debeaking the birds. Make sure they are sterilized very well, and that cannot again transfer infections to these birds. So debeaking should be done between 8 weeks to at least 14 weeks of age. Beyond that, it is already late, and birds that are laying eggs are not supposed to be debeaked because it will affect their laying so greatly. And then make sure that whenever you're doing this debeaking, the person going to do debeaking should be a professional in this field, okay? Don't use a learners to debeak for you your birds, or even you yourself as a beginner. If you've not yet done it before or you've not seen it physically, it's better you invite someone who has done it to come and do it for you. Of course, they will do it at a cost, but at least your birds will be safe, because this is a project that you invest a lot of money to raise them, you know, and at least you have somewhere you want to reach. So make sure that you do the right thing, okay? Poultry farming is not a very cheap venture. It's an expensive venture. Whether you have few number of birds, you yourself, you know, you're investing money to feed them, or you have a huge number of birds, but still you need a lot of capital to do that project. So it is a project that you should not take it for granted. And then the owner of the farm always make sure you are available when you're doing this debeaking, okay? Because that is very, very important to avoid mortality. That's our food here. You need to pick them up. This drum, I normally leave it here because there is a part in that roof which leaks, so I don't want again someone to climb up to work on it. So that's why I leave the drum here whenever it's raining. So I was still telling you, you as the owner of the farm, on the day of debeaking, make sure you are available. The day of vaccination, make sure you are available, okay? So that you see everything that is happening to avoid mortality and to avoid losses in future. So right now it is morning hours, but you can see birds are even unbothered. So unbothered. But if it was those other normal days when they are very active, you see them run towards me. But all in all, it will not stop us from giving them the feeds. So let us start giving them the feeds. Someone will be pouring the feeds from outside. Just like you can see, she's opening those windows. But they are also running towards the feeds, you can see. Wow. Currently, each bird is consuming 75 grams of feed, but during this time, when they are still in the recovery process, you see that the birds are not eating still well. You can see they are running towards the feed that is being poured, but if you notice, they are not even pecking on it. I think pecking is still a problem, but they will get used. They will get used to this. You see, they are busy running towards the feeds, but you see, pecking is a problem. Currently, we have 672 birds here, of which I told you that we are heading to 13 weeks. And in the old chicken house, we have 292 birds currently that have already laid for over 82 weeks. Our house is still filled up with the feathers, but I'm really trying my best to remove the feathers. At least every 2 days, we are sweeping off the feathers. So if you want your birds to recover very fast after this debeaking and you don't want to receive any mortality, kindly follow the guidelines. Make sure all birds are debeaked at the same time or within the same period. Now, like we had like 20 birds which were not debeaked that very day, simply because they escaped. They were jumping over, and I managed to debeak them a day after that. So make sure that you debeak the birds within the same, especially birds in the same chicken house like this. Make sure they are debeaked at the same time. If you again debeak these ones this week, the other ones the other week, it is not right, because other birds will start laying, then others again will not. lay eggs at the right time. So that's why I also encourage debeaking early enough to at least make our birds lay also early, because if we debeak them late, let's say at 14 weeks, 15 weeks, 16 weeks, it will somehow affect their laying. Because you can see we have already put feed the other side, but you can see they are not feeding the other side. They have the appetite to feed, but their beaks cannot allow them, and since it is cut, it is something new to them, so they're just learning how to use these new beaks. Okay, so that is what is happening right now, but I'm very sure this is not going to happen for long, because my birds are very active and they are very healthy. Then also I forgot, don't ever debeak birds that are sick. Okay, or birds which are under medication, birds that are just vaccinated, no, they are not supposed to be debeaked. Endeavor to make sure, endeavor to debeak birds that are not sick, birds that are very active, and birds that are not under medication. So you can see the feeds are already in the feeders, but the birds cannot peck on it at all. Wow. So for today, that is all I had for you. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for always coming back. Thank you so much for all your wonderful love and support. But if you're still new, please kindly consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell so that you never miss out any upload. Share this video, comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be so grateful. See you next time. I love you all. Bye-bye.